One of the strongest upgrades in the game, the Flying Fortress, actually got a buff with last update. Well, this also could be classified as a rework, but what they did to the Flying Fortress is reduced the frontal dart's pierce and increased its damage. The same change is also being applied to the Spectre. So obviously lowering the pierce hurts the tower a little bit, but you still have the explosions which do great against group stuff, which means overall I would say this is a buff. And to showcase this change, I'm going to be taking on an expert chimps map and try to complete the 23 megapops challenge, which means beating 140 rounds of chimps with the vast majority of the pops going to the Flying Fortress. Let's hop right into it. Okay, here we go, the 23 megapops challenge on the map Ravine. This is going to be really difficult, but I think it's going to make for a fun video. And as per usual, I've got my 3 dart monkey placements down. This one, the top one's on last, the left one's on strong, and the bottom one is on first. If my placements were pixel perfect, this should be able to defend round 6. Let's see. Hopefully that's the case, but yeah, we are actually going Rosalia today. This is one of my first videos ever with Rosalia, so I'm pretty excited about that. The reasoning behind it should be pretty obvious, and that is Rosalia's level 6 ability, which discounts your monkey ace upgrades, and having that discount is like going to be really important, especially when I'm trying to save up for the Flying Fortress, which is very expensive, as you guys know. Alright, there we go. Spam that sword, and we can defend round 7 as well. And we've made it to round 10. I'm thinking I need more defense for this round, though. Yeah, I definitely need to upgrade a dart on the left. Okay. There's a couple ways I could play this. One, I could upgrade the top path on this dart and work towards a spike-a-pult or a juggernaut, which is really effective on this map, but the problem with that is the spike-a-pult and juggernaut would get a ton of pops, and that's going to hurt my challenge. So I'm thinking of going a more early game focused upgrade, which is the middle path on this dart, and just going for a triple shot. Let's see if that allows me to defend first. Probably actually does allow me to defend if I'm better with my targeting. What if I just leave it on first targeting? And we have this one on strong. It's looking better. Yeah, we're good. Nice. And round 14. I'm $70 off Rosalia. I'm not going to handle though, am I? Yeah. Yellow balloons get me. In that case, I will just go for the trip dart that I was talking about. But I'm guessing I need to get even more defense for the right-hand side as well. Yeah. I think what I'll do is just add another dart on the right, making for number 6, which is crazy, and I'll still buy trip shot on the left. That appears to defend the first wave, which is a good sign. Maybe put this guy on strong targeting now as well. Yeah, we're good. And after round 17 concludes, I can now get Rosalia down. Finally. Now, as for Rosalia's placement, I want her in a location where she can obviously reach all 4 lanes, and probably centered more towards the right-hand side as well, looking somewhere about here. Disclaimer, I have barely used this hero, so I'm not sure about all the intricacies with Rosalia. I don't really know if it's better to keep her on the grenade or the ray gun. And then same thing with like her ability usage. Also, I'm dead round 18. Okay, that's cool. It's probably a lot more effective for me to just have her locked in place on the right-hand side anyways, since I have the trip dart on the left-hand side. That does defend. How do we look if I use the grenade launcher? I'm curious. It appeared to do worse there than the ray gun. I know it's not actually called the ray gun, but as a former Call of Duty player, it kind of looks like the ray gun. It sounds like it, so I'm calling it the ray gun. Round 22 is taking me down. These white balloons are really annoying. What if I use the ability? Okay, that holds off for a little bit, but I'm still dead at the very end. Let's go for a glue gunner up top, because I'll probably want to build something like a Moab glue later or relentless glue. And this should give me a little bit more time to defend these balloons. The rounds when the balloons come from the left-hand side are going to be the hardest anyways, so getting more defense for these is not a bad decision. And we have a camel balloon to deal with in round 24. What's the best way to play around that? The cheapest option would obviously be upgrading a dart monkey to like enhanced eyesight. And I think that's what I'll do. What I would have liked to be able to do is get a camel village down, because we definitely will want to get a camel village later. As for our ace, having the top cross path is important as that deals more damage. But we're not to that point yet. Let's use the ability here. Does that defend? Round 25, we're good. Round 28, this round is probably gonna get me. Because I need to move Rosalia, and Rosalia is just so slow. I'm honestly considering going back and just getting a Juggernaut here. I feel like the Juggernaut play might have been more optimal. Okay, with the 2 spike-a-pult start, I have made it back to round 27. I'm hoping I can afford a Juggernaut at the end of this round, and then we'll have the Juggernaut to deal with leads on one lane, and Rosalia to deal with leads on the other lane. Here we go. Let's see if that works. Both of my Juggernauts, by the way, this bottom one's probably going to be a Juggernaut as well, have the bottom cross path for camo detection. And that actually defends easily. The Juggernaut is just nuts on this map. Round 31 might be a bit tough. I'm gonna probably use a Rosalia ability. I'm just gonna wait as long as possible on it though. Maybe put the Juggernaut in first targeting. Now. Okay, we should be fine against this last Zebra. Yeah, nice. I think we're almost to the point at which I can finally get an ace down. I was honestly hoping I could get a village discount ace, but you saw right there when I was hovering the ace, I already have the discount from Rosalia. We got level 6, which is nice. I think that discount is like 15% or 10%. I forget the exact amount. Okay, can I defend the camel balloons this round? I should be able to with my 2 dart monkeys. Yeah, we're chilling. That's good. Let's do it. Ace right about here, and we have it to centered path. I'm just gonna wait and get never miss targeting once I can afford it, basically. I need, what, 700 more dollars? Oh wait, there's rainbows this round. Okay. I think I'm in trouble against the bottom rainbows. Wait a second, Rosalia is actually kind of putting in work. I have her on the grenade launcher now instead of the ray gun. Never miss targeting? Let's go. Okay, never miss targeting is a huge step for us because that actually deals damage. I'm gonna try moving Rosalia away now, and I'm gonna work towards the top cross path at this point. Camo balloons once again get dealt with from my Juggernauts. We're doing good. That is a huge step. How many pops have I gotten stolen so far? 2,000 on you, about another 1,000 from those darts, 1,500 from Rosalia, and another like 2,000 from these darts. So a decent amount of pops stolen. But you have to remember, we're doing the 23 or whatever mega pops challenge, where I think there's like 80 or 90,000 pops to spare, opposed to the 2 mega pops challenge, where there's 40,000 pops to spare. Now obviously I'm going a lot farther in the process as well, so that changes things up too. But just keep that in mind as we play through this. Also, camo balloons actually get me. Alright, take 2 at this. I have the spike bolt on first targeting now, which did even worse. I'm not defending those. Here's what I'm gonna end up doing then. We went back to round 36, and I'm gonna beat this round without buying the top path on my ace. That way I can afford the second Juggernaut for the camo balloons. Yeah, that worked. Nice. And the next thing I want to purchase is for sure 100% an Alk buff for the ace. As the Alk buff is really impactful on the never miss targeting, since it has a base damage of 1, you basically double the damage and increase the pierce while you're at it too. Then on top of that, the Alk buff is actually kind of good on the Spectre, since the Spectre lost some pierce, so having more pierce on it could be a nice little help, you know what I'm saying? That's just my initial thoughts. Alright, round 39's not looking too bad. Wait, round 40 though. I've got a Moab to deal with. Thankfully, Rosalia actually has the supercharged attack ready. I think I'll be fine against the Moab. I don't have Berserker Brew yet though, is the only annoying part. Let's see if we defend. We're good. Nice little Rosalia ability there. Berserker Brew has been purchased. Let's go. Bring Rosalia back out of the range. Never miss Alk buff is one of the best combinations in BT6 in my opinion. This does a ton of damage. Oh, more camo balloons. We're good. Now I'll get that village down that I was talking about. We'll have it right around here. And I'm gonna buy jungle drums before I buy camo detection. I think that's fine. Also, as for the alchemist cross pathing, we want the middle path on this, because the Alk buff runs out pretty quickly on Spectre, so middle path is gonna give us better uptime on fast attacking towers. Then round 45, we can get camo village this round, hopefully in time for the camo balloons. Yeah, we did, because there's camo purples that come out. Pretty good stuff. Just gotta save up 22.7k for that Spectre, and then 91.8k for the Flying Fortress. These guys are not cheap. Round 49, there's a ton of balloons this round. I feel like our never miss is going to get overrun, but actually holding its own quite nicely, I gotta say. Trying to not rely on the Juggernauts very much because we don't want them getting pops. And do I need Rosalia to help me for the Moabs? No, it looks like never miss does the majority of the damage, and then Juggernaut is more than enough to ensure my safety against the ceramics. I'm hoping I can afford Spectre before the hard rounds come. 61, 62, and 63. I think I will be able to afford it in time. Also, wait, round 52. Maybe with better never miss targeting I can deal with those Moabs. Let me cook. Have it down here. Switch the direction. Yes, that's the first one done. Come on, second one. We're good. Nice. Ace targeting does indeed make a difference, guys. Even with seeking darts. Because if you target your ace properly, the darts will hit the mob faster and not target other things like random ceramics that you'd be dealing with anyways. And yeah, I actually afforded the Spectre much earlier, around 56 buying of it. That's really nice. And look at that, Flying Fortress is 82.6k, but normally in chimps it's 91.8. So there's a prime example of the Rosalia discount coming into play. I'm saving $9,000 plus on the Flying Fortress upgrade. And I guess I already saved over 2,000 on the Spectre upgrade as well. I'm pretty sure I don't have to pay that much attention to the game for a while with the Spectre though. We can kind of just have this guy set in place and watch him decimate these rounds. Round 63 actually could give me a run for my money though, just because they reduced this guy's Pierce in the last update, with obviously giving him a lot more damage. But the reduction in Pierce might be a problem. I could also buy stronger stimulant if I want, but ideally I don't spend any more money and just try saving straight for the Flying Fortress. We defended that first wave of ceramics really easily. Okay. Second wave, we defended. And then third wave, come on, gets insta-killed. I mean, you gotta remember, they changed the darts damage in Pierce. They didn't change the explosion Pierce, so I think we still actually do pretty decent against clumps of balloons. It's just the projectiles kind of serve different purposes now from the Spectre, which I like. But yeah, I just felt like this would be a great map to showcase the Spectre and Flying Fortress on, basically because this map is actually quite long. The thing that makes this map difficult though is the multiple paths and the line of sight blockers, which the Flying Fortress doesn't really care about if you think about it. Line of sight blockers do nothing against something in the sky, and the changing of paths don't really do much either if you have a targetable tower. And I've made it to round 74. Next round could actually be a pretty difficult one because round 75, as you guys know, has just a boatload of BFBs. But I've got a feeling Spectre will deal with it pretty easily, especially with the fact that the round comes from the right-hand lanes. And with the nature of this map, the right-hand lanes are much longer, so in turn, they are much easier. Looks like that first BFB was dealt with pretty easily. Okay, group of 3 now. Do a little bit of Spectre targeting. It took me longer to deal with that for sure, but we're fine. And last group of 3, we're good. Nice. Round 76. We're good against this as well, but I'm going to redo the round and have Ace up top from the start, because I don't want my Juggernauts to get very many pops. Right. Try that again. Yeah, there you go. That was good Ace targeting. Minimizing Juggernaut pops is the name of the game here. I've made it halfway on the save up as well. That's a good sign. Only need to save up about $41,000 more. My initial plan was to get Flying Fortress up before DT rounds because the Spectre doesn't damage DTs. The explosions don't have Black Balloon popping power, and the darts can't damage leads. But I guess we'll just see when I afford it. I mean, theoretically, Rosalia could maybe defend some DTs for me, since Rosalia has camo protection for my village, and I've got 3 Rosalia abilities available, but I don't really want to rely on that, you know what I'm saying? And now I've got the ZOMG to deal with. So how is our single target damage looking here? That's the part of the Spectre that was buffed the most. Single target. And we're damaging it quite quickly, I've got to say. I don't really have that many buffs in this guy too. Only Jungle Drums and an Alk buff that's a 3rd tier, so yeah. Juggernaut doesn't even attack. Nice. Now we've made it past round 80, which means super ceramics are now a thing. Don't really seem very super against the Spectre though. Honestly, with the changes that came, the Spectre should be much better against super ceramics, because the way super ceramics work, for those of you who are not aware, is basically it has a lot more HP than the ceramics before round 80, but the ceramic only pops into 1 rainbow, and that 1 rainbow only pops into like 1 zebra, 1 black balloon, all that stuff. So it doesn't multiply, which means you eat up less Pierce, but it requires more layers of damage, which suits the Spectre changes basically. Fortified BFBs are going to be scary though. Well, not really scary, but I feel like I'm going to lose pops against them. Actually, they are a little bit scary on top of that. Yeah. We need Rosalia to help out. And we died. Okay. Let's have her hovered right here. Maybe just on strong targeting. And try to keep our ace focused on the mob class damage early. We're going to need to start losing some pops here, unfortunately, guys. I'm definitely doing better this time, though, with my targeting. Alright, Rosalia ability. Hopefully I can knock back these BFBs a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That was a good knockback. And you guys can just see the big difference that having Rosalia helping makes. And just better ace targeting on top of that, too. Round 82 was not that much of an issue anymore. Okay, nice. According to my math, I need to beat round 88. After that point, I'll afford Flying Fortress. So it's before round 90 DTs come, which is good. Round 86 and 88 are going to be the troublesome ones. Here's round 86. First BFB, dealt with. Second BFB, dealt with. Third one, we're good. Number 4. Nice. Bring you away. I don't think I need you. And we're fine. Okay. I've got 25,000 pops in Rosalia. I feel like I could definitely have minimized those pops quite a bit if I were to like redo the rounds a ton. But I don't really want to go back and do that. So I'm just going to roll with it and hope that I still can stay in within the means of 23 megapops. 4 ZOMGs to deal with this round. But we've got the long lanes to deal with them, which is nice. Come on. Oh, what a knockback, Rosalia. What a knockback. Okay. That was close. I think we use a couple Rosalia abilities early here. And maybe have the ace like on top of these ZOMGs to begin with. Just to focus damage better. I don't know. Something like that. Pierce through multiple of them. Let's use Rosalia ability now. On first targeting. Okay, I think we're doing better than the previous attempt. Let's deal with these BFBs. Nice knockback, Rosalia. But look at how many pops she gets. She already got 5,000 this round. We should be okay. 1 ZOMG remaining. Let's move Rosalia back here. Popped into BFBs. Moabs. And we are good. Nice. I am 3k off. Or actually 2.6k off. We're close. Come on. Round 88. This is the round we afford. If I can defend long enough, that is. Come on, ace targeting. I'm not the best ace targeter. And we died. Alright, try to keep the ace up top at the start at least. Like this. We're doing decent. Rosalia ability. Yes. We defended all the BFBs pretty much. And we'll have 2 ZOMGs to deal with at the end of this round. I think after I pop 1 ZOMG, I'll have enough money for the, what's it called? Flying Fortress. Let's keep Rosalia here and maybe knock back this ZOMG a bit. I'm gonna try to focus the left one. Well, actually, no, we want to focus the left one with Rosalia. I don't know if I have enough cash, actually. And maybe I should focus the right ZOMG first. Ability? Wait. No way! I'm $200 off. So I'm gonna need to deal with both the ZOMGs, basically. Huh. At least I know now. But that's gonna be difficult. Alright, I'm gonna use a Rosalia Explosion this time against the ZOMG. And hopefully that deals pretty good damage to allow me to pop these faster. I'm gonna focus the right one with my ace a little. Okay, we're fine. Bring you down here. Use Rosalia ability. We're good. Bring Rosalia over here now. I need Flying Fortress. I'm almost there. Come on. Got it. Let's go. Oh my gosh, we made it. We've given up so many pops though. Like 15,000 plus in the Juggernauts. 51,000 in Rosalia. Which means I only have like 20,000 pops remaining to give out. And I've got to defend around 140. So I'm going to need a hard carry job from the Flying Fortress. Also, Rosalia still has that thing active. Can the Flying Fortress do the carry job that I need? That's the question. I honestly kind of doubt it, but we'll see. Now, again, in hindsight, there's a million things I could have done to better prepare myself on pops. Like, I probably did not need to rely on Rosalia as much for some of the rounds that I did. And on top of that, going for a Moab glue and delaying my Flying Fortress by 1 round most likely would have saved me pops as well, is my guess. But either way, I'm not going to sweat it too much. Flying Fortress right now just appears to be spawn killing everything, which is a good sign. Even like round 94, it's just not going anywhere. Okay. I like where this is heading. Round 95, we can probably get an overclock this round. I'm thinking, let's actually restart it, because if I get a discount village, I can also discount what will later be a homeland defense. So I can discount that MIB. Let's have the overclock right here. Alk buff should still prioritize the ace. It's not. Now it's alk buffing the ace, okay. Now you've got to remember, overclock has, I think, 66% uptime on tier 5, so we can't just like constantly overclock our ace, we have to time it. I'll use it for the DTs now. Okay. They also gave the ace like full DT popping power, the Flying Fortress full DT popping power in the last update. Beforehand, I think the darts could not damage DTs. So that's pretty cool. Round 96. I could get stronger stimulant. I'm gonna wait on that though. Ideally, I'd just like to get Ultra Boost next. This round is going nowhere though. Easily defended. Dude, this is just nuts how strong the Flying Fortress is right now. Oh my gosh. Okay, fortified ZMGs. I'm guessing these push a little bit, especially because I don't have the overclock available. I'm saving it for around 99 or 98. But we still deal with them pretty dang quick, I've got to say. And now we'll overclock you. Round 98. Let's see it. Oh my lord. Have you guys ever seen a 98 get killed so quickly? That is crazy. It's not even close. Fortified DTs in round 99. These could also take a little bit of time to kill. Not real. Well, actually, wait a second. Yeah, fortified DTs are still a bit of a threat, but we're good. And round 100. Let's use an overclock. It's also because I didn't have overclock available for 99. Look at how fast we pop that BD. There you have it, guys. 100 rounds of chimps mode has been completed. Obviously, we're pushing another 40. We were 30,000 pops off of the 2 mega pops challenge, though. Let's go into the free play. I definitely think 2 mega pops would have been possible with some of the optimizations I was talking about, but it's okay. It's not the end of the world or anything. Okay, round 102. DTs are actually scary. Oh my gosh. Wow. Is it time to get a Relentless glue up before I get the Ultra Boost? That's what I'm thinking. This should add a lot of consistency to my defense, especially when overclock's not available on the ace, because that's the main problem we're having. We're just dying or struggling when overclock isn't going on. Yeah, look at how much the Relentless glue is helping. Okay, overclock you now. Yes, and we should be fine. Okay, round 103 actually has just an absurd amount of density. This is like round 98 on steroids, and I'm dead. What the heck? Flying Fortress went from being the best upgrade in all time to struggling a ton right after we passed round 100. Which I know the rounds get like much more difficult at this point, but it's still kind of crazy to think about. I'm sure with like better targeting I can beat this round. But I did not expect to struggle this early on. Alright, should I focus these right ZMGs first because they aren't glued? There we go, that's good. Now I can focus the left ones. Switch the direction. I should be fine. Yeah, we're chilling. We need to save 77k for that Ultra Boost. Yeah, guys, at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm just not gonna be able to get 23 mega pops. It's more difficult than I thought. So we're gonna kind of adapt the goal into this. Just beat 140 rounds of chimps mode on one of the hardest maps in the game, which is Ravine, of course. And see how many pops I can get on the Flying Fortress in the process. My guess is we'll end up with close to 23 million, just not quite there. We've already given up more than the allowed pops for 23 million anyways. Okay, round 111. This round, I think, is infamous for having just a boatload of ZMGs, and that looks to be the case. I probably should use some Rosalie abilities to help me out here, but I'm gonna first just see how we look without spamming Rosalie abilities. We're handling, kinda. It's a good thing this is a right lane round as well. If this was a left lane round, it would be like impossible for us, I'm pretty sure. But even with right lane round, it's still impossible. Okay, we need Rosalia for sure to help me. Put you on strong targeting. We're gonna use jetpack off the start. That's gonna give me some nice knockbacks against the blimps. We can also use, do I use the mine from Rosalie? That's the thing. Like the big explosion. That's gonna do a ton of damage. The knockbacks might be enough though. Yes, it's already looking much more manageable than the previous attempt. I will use one more Rosalie ability. Come on. Nice knockback, Rosalia. You're the real GOAT. Okay. One fortified ZMG remaining. I've got this. Wow. $9,000 away. Let's go. We'll use the Sabo right now. Round 114. It's looking like the ace is back to being really good at the game. I think that the problem with the Flying Fortress, I've now realized, is when the balloons start to split, it actually misses a lot of the projectiles or doesn't maximize the pierce well. But if I can keep the balloons like stuck at the start, like I was at for some of the previous rounds, then I'm maximizing the pierce easily because all the balloons are clumped at that point. And it's not really missing projectiles either. Oh my gosh, I'm $200 off. And the thing is, once you buy Ultra Boost, it resets the cooldown. So ideally, I use an overclock right before I get Ultra Boost up. Overclock now. Okay, let's get Ultra Boost. Perfect. Sabo. Abilities on Rosalia, and I'm dead. Try using Sabo earlier. Okay, we survived the start of this round this time. Yes. Knock back the ZMGs a little bit. Good. Don't die. We're okay. I think I survived. There we go. And we have Ultra Boost almost off cooldown. Oh, just in time for DTs to ruin my day. I need to survive these DTs for just a little bit of time. No way I can't pop these, bro. Got it. Switch direction. Yes. Ace, handle, handle, handle. Please. Switch direction again. Oh my gosh. I think I did it. Ooh, finally. Getting the Ultra Boost up was actually more difficult than getting the Flying Fortress. I mean, in all honesty, getting the Flying Fortress up would have been much easier as well if I wasn't trying to minimize the pop stolen to get it up, if you know what I'm saying. If the goal was only to just build the Flying Fortress. And here's round 119. We're gonna have 3 BDs to deal with. Can I fit another Sabo in here? Yeah, I can. Right there. It's actually taking me a little bit longer to pop these than I thought, though, which gives me worries around 140. Because how am I popping a fortified BAD that's ramped up more than these? Alright, Ace. Defend. I guess one thing that needs to be kept in mind is I don't have all the Ultra Boost stacks yet. I only have 3 stacks, which makes a big difference. Right, I'm going to use a Sabo. I'm not sure if I even needed it there, but we used it. Honestly, the rounds have gotten actually somewhat easy once again. Having the Ultra Boost up just makes a huge difference because not only do I have extra attack speed due to the Ultra Boost stacks, but also the overclock itself has 100% uptime when you have the Ultra Boost, so that's a huge help itself. Okay, round 122 though was crazy amount of Pierce needed. And here's round 131, 18 fortified ZMGs coming in to ruin my day. I'm gonna use a, what's it called? Rosalia ability here. And just try to deal with these ZMGs one at a time. We're actually keeping them back quite far, which is nice. 3 times Ultra Boost stack on my Relentless Glue, by the way. Yeah, still handling decently well. Now the ZMGs are pushing. Let's use another Sabo. Switch the pathing on the Ace. Okay. Let's bring you back. Nice. Ultra Boost. Still handling. Let's go for another Rosalia ability. I think I've dealt with like half of the ZMGs so far, maybe? Hopefully more than half. Ability. Oh, and I'm dead. Man, this is tough. I think I just get the Cold Arms up this round, in all honesty. 50% extra Pierce will help out quite a bit. Okay, let's use Cold Arms now. There we go. Let's see the Shred. Ace. Yeah, it looks like we're doing pretty solid. Now, the thing is, Cold Arms doesn't last very long. It's going to end pretty soon. But has it helped me enough in the process? Oh, ability. We're good. Nice. By the way, no chance I'm going to afford a Homeland defense in time for round 140. Sabo? Okay. I'm dead. I think I need a 3rd Sabo. So just have full uptime on it. Even with Sabo going though, sometimes I'm still just falling behind against CDTs. These guys are just insane. And I've got to save the Cold Arms till later in this round as well. I guess we'll use it now because I was about to die. Okay, with Cold Arms going, we are actually dealing with these really quickly. But once Cold Arms dies off, I think I'm screwed. Sabo? Wait a second, can I handle? Please, Ace? Oh my gosh, I did it. Round 138 went down. I am so dead next round, it's not even funny. I'm not gonna pop the BAD. I guess one thing I can do to prepare, let's retry this round, is get a Spike Storm ability off cooldown. If I can even afford that. Round 139 is really easy though, which is nice. And yeah, I can't afford Spike Storm. Well, that's great. We'll just go Mob Shredder then, and Alk buff it. Okay, well, here we go. How close am I to popping that BAD? Let's start. Cold Arms, abilities from Rosalia. How much damage are you doing? Mob Shredder spikes. An okay amount. I mean, the Flying Fortress is actually dealing more damage against this than I thought. I'm not gonna lie there. If I had homeland defense available, I think I could actually pop the layer, but I'd be so dead against the insides. Yeah, we got down to the last damage stage. I gotta say, that was somewhat impressive. But yeah, there you have it. Failed challenge today, but I still think it was a great video nonetheless. A good way to showcase the Flying Fortress on a very difficult map. And if you guys did enjoy, hit the like button, subscribe button, Ramak out. Peace, guys. Have a good one.